So, playing this game since it came out on the 5th of December, I had dabbed into it since the beta. I have been part of it, and I've gotten things like the skins, have done things like the missions. And what is really cool is that from playing this and being a crazy Overwatch 2 competitive player and a casual player of Overwatch 2 before I got banned because I decided to call out stupid people, and I have a very low tolerance of stupidity. In this game, I do not feel in that manner. I don't feel in this way where I have Overwatch makes me feel like I'm around stupidity, and I feel bad for being a certain type of player. This game actually makes it more where, in my opinion, Marvel Rivals does where Overwatch 2 doesn't. I like the idea of like things like, we have the actual daily and challenges and the seasonal events where all this stuff is so great to have fun with, where it's all so fun to play in each map. Each character, it's his own thing, and even with that, you also get cool events. You get like a cool battle pass with amazing characters and amazing costumes. And what is also different about that is that you don't have to go ahead and do everything so quick. This game actually works with the player's time, and actually works to a point where it's like, hey, you don't have to go ahead and do so much. It allows the player to be able to do things such as, buy the battle pass, which if you haven't bought it, the price for the battle pass is $5 United States currency. And even if you want to get a little bit more, it's $10. A natural regular battle pass, no levels, is $10. This is $5. This shows that one, it is not just dedicated to the design of the game. It is not just dedicated to, bringing a Marvel, hero shooter experience to the gamer. It actually is very friendly with the gamer in general. And this is one of the games where it blew up as one of the most played games on Steam. And that is very, very impressive. The characters play fine. The characters play fun. The characters play like in different ways where other people who do things like go from Overwatch to this game feel similar in that similar gameplay, or they get to a point where, hey, you know what? Now we actually can feel like we could try something a little bit new also. It's a mixture of two things that feel similar and new at the same time. Now, with this type of situation with this game, I'm going to state this straightforward. The fact that this game is not just friendly with the people's currency, because if you see all skins that are given here, they are all such beautifully designed. Like for instance, I have the Punisher skin, the Punisher Thunderbolt skin. Look at how beautiful that is designed, and you could earn it in the battle pass. You could buy it in the battle pass as well if you decide not to spend all that time because of, people's busy schedules. You have like amazing skins like the Black Panther Galactic Claw and so on and so forth. This game on day one has provided so much for this actual gamer experience that I am very, very impressed with it. I was impressed with the beta, and I was so excited to a point where I was like, you know what? When I first got banned over Overwatch, because as I said, I don't have an actual patience for stupidity. You can actually play the game and feel like, you know what, though you might have the players that are doing a little bit more, you can actually play the characters in the way you wish. You can have so much fun with it, and then even with losing or winning, it's still a fun game. that's something I don't get personally from Overwatch 2. And I guess it's because of the fact of certain things that have changed with Overwatch 2. One thing that is also family friendly is that you can actually do things like, if you haven't finished the battle pass, you can go back to the battle pass and still unlock it by doing the dailies and the seasonals and the weeklies, and it's such a good concept. This is something that is very friendly to a lot of people, and I am very, very happy that I actually have this experience with Marvel Rivals. Now, the things with such as, where it's balanced, there is some nerfing and buffing that it does need to do, but it's starting off, brand new, so they're testing it out. And then of course, with it just being in season 0, it's gonna get nerfed and buffed here and there based off like the players' reviews and so on and so forth. More characters have been confirmed. The list of characters in here are so great, and it's just to a point where this game is so good. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. It's way better than Overwatch in my opinion. I think Overwatch 2 has been failing left and right with some of the choices that it's made. And with this game, as I said, it's worried more about what the player wants and what the player should feel instead of what the company thinks the player needs. And with all this whole character lineup, Bruce Banner, Venom, Punisher, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Rocket Raccoon, Cloak and Dagger, these are all certain characters that a lot of people have asked for, have waited for. And what's cool about this lineup is that this game being not too counter heavy, you can play these games in ways that you did not even know that you could. You could play a character and not have to switch to counter someone. It's based on the player's skill completely. Where Overwatch is a game strictly made out of counters. And as I said, with this, if you have not downloaded it yet, if you have PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC, it's a free game. It is very, very fun to play. You even have the ability, if I may show you here, because I'm actually doing this right off the dome here. I'm trying to show you straightforward. You have the ability, of course, to see old costumes here, based off the movies, especially you see Peter Quill right here. You have Wolverine, even some cool ones right here, like the Hawkeye Galactic skin. It's so beautiful, and especially with these MVP screens, is such a cool look. Look at this. Look how beautiful that is. That looks an amazing, an amazing look to it. There's some costumes, even for if you're a major X-Men fan or a comic book fan, you get things like the classic Psylocke look right here. You get even things even from other comics. For instance, you get yourself a brand new skin right here from Punisher, which is the 2099 Punisher. You get things from many different comic areas. You get even classic Wolverine in his yellow and blue costume. And these are costumes and I would say cosmetics that people allow. It allows you to even change your name in game. It gives you special collectibles that tell you about certain aspects in with some of the missions and some of the dailies that you do, and it tells you a story of where they're at. And it's really, really good. They also have tournaments when they set up a certain amount of time and you set up for a tournament. And you could also make your own faction or your own team, which you have to have things like a certain rule. You could go ahead and put it for, casuals. You could put it for competitive. You could put it for so much more all together. And you can even set up applications for people if you want people to go ahead and sign up to applications and so much more. You have a gallery with comic books, and it's such a good aspect, even where right over here if you see, there are two types of currencies. There is lattice, there is also blue currency, which is units. Some of them are also chrono tokens, which is for the battle pass. You can buy this lattice with your own money and change it into currency with the 1-1 ratio aspect. So if I get 500 lattice, I could turn it to 500 units. Or if I get 400 lattice and I need it for the chrono tokens, I could turn it to 400 chrono tokens. And the prices for this is such a beautiful price. So right here, 1,000 lattice equals the $10. So 100 lattice is 99 cents, and so on and so forth. Even with this right here, you get more and more and more from this game that you don't even realize. The design for your characters, the amount of minutes you played, like, you know, all like where your rank is, your stats of who you played, everything. Even to a point where if you click on certain things like a customization area, you can go ahead and have something like a certain calling card. You can have a certain title. You could look at the achievements to go ahead and try to get more and more done. Now, here's the cool part for what you're playing with some of your characters. So let's say if I'm playing things such as Moon Knight, right? I like playing Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight is one of the best characters here. You can actually customize certain things from Moon Knight. So let's go to the hero here. I think it's right here in this spot. And you could change things right here. This is my main, Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. Tells you the difficulty, even his little story right here. Get the cosmetics. You can even change his MVP to what it is, and his original MVP, and then there's more added here. And it's such a good idea for like all these types of cosmetics here. You have even sprays for him that you can add in, and each character has their same spray, like Overwatch 2. It tells you about the abilities, tells you about his lore, and you can even unlock it more and more, where you could go ahead and see all the lore from him and what the whole basics is. But I would recommend, if you are a big fan, go ahead and get his comics. You can also do things such as his own level. Like for instance, I am a knight when it comes to Moon Knight. Like for instance, I've done a certain amount of damage, I've done a certain amount of usage, I've used him a certain amount of times, and he ranks up to a certain extent that where if this is here, you could customize things like such as, like if you get a quad, you get his symbol, or you get like a different nice animation. You can even change the way his actual look for when you see his little thing for the HUD is, his icon for the HUD. And it's such a great idea. I think this game brings up so much for it, especially where you have things now. If you're playing in a competitive area, you have things such as team ups where they actually team up together in the Marvel aspect. I love it. Like for instance, Venom's teaming up with Penny and Peter Parker. You have Scarlet Witch, Magneto. You have Moon Knight and Cloak and Dagger. You have all the Guardians of the Galaxy such as Adam Warlock. You have Mantis, and you have Star-Lord working together, and they have all specific like info of what they can do. Like, you know, the abilities that they have. It shows you what the abilities are. And it's such a good idea. And you know what? I'm actually very, very happy that it's, and this is a thing. I'm so happy that, you know, that this game is so built like amazingly. There are collabs. There's so much you can do. You can do text chat, voice chat. This game, in my opinion, where a lot of people are like, oh, this is not going to kill Overwatch. I wouldn't say it would kill Overwatch, but I would say a lot of the people will move to this game because it is more friendly. It is more it's more competitive on the competitive aspect as well. And as I said, it's something that people are very, very, you know, familiar with, especially with Marvel characters. I think this is a game that a lot of people should get into. I think this is a game that if you want to get into the competitive area where people like Flats already, who is an Overwatch 2 pro player, is doing so. I really think you guys should get into this. This is a game that's worth playing. From the beta, I knew it was going to be good already, and it has not failed to disappoint. With microtransactions, very friendly to the players. Gameplay, very good, fluent, very fun to play, and I have a lot of faith in Marvel Rivals. I really do.